Good morning, and let me tell you something that your doctor probably never mentioned at your last checkup. The single most dangerous thing happening to your body right now, if you are over the age of 60, is not your blood pressure, it is not your cholesterol, and it is not even your heart. It is the silent disappearance of the muscle in your legs. Every single decade after the age of 30, the human body loses between 3 and 8% of its muscle mass, and after the age of 60, that number accelerates dramatically. But here is what nobody is telling you. What you eat in the first hour after you wake up in the morning can either stop that process cold or make it dramatically worse. And most seniors are unknowingly making choices every single morning that are destroying the very muscles keeping them upright, mobile, and independent. A landmark study published by researchers at the University of Texas Medical Branch found that older adults who consumed the right combination of nutrients in the morning experienced up to 40% greater muscle protein synthesis compared to those who did not. 40%. That is not a minor difference. That is the difference between walking your grandchildren to school and needing a walker to get to the bathroom. And yet, almost nobody in mainstream medicine talks about this at breakfast time. Now, before we dive into today's list, I want to hear from you. Drop your age in the comments below and tell me, what does your typical breakfast look like right now? I read every single comment on this channel, and your answers genuinely help me create better content for this community. We have people here from all over the world, from their early 60s all the way up to their late 80s, and every single one of you deserves to know this information. Today I'm going to walk you through 6 foods that seniors should eat every morning to stop muscle loss in the legs. We are going from number 6 down to number 1, and I promise you, by the time we get to number 1, you are going to be completely shocked. This one food is something that most people either never think about or have been actively avoiding, and the research behind it is staggering. Let us start with number 6. Number 6 is oatmeal, but not just any oatmeal and not prepared the way most people make it. Let me explain why this humble breakfast staple deserves a seat at the table of serious muscle preservation science. Researchers at Tufts University's Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging have been studying the relationship between complex carbohydrates and muscle retention in adults over 65 for more than 2 decades. What they have found is that when seniors eat the right kind of slow-digesting carbohydrates in the morning, it creates what scientists call an anabolic hormonal environment. Now, anabolic simply means building up, as opposed to catabolic, which means breaking down. After the age of 70, your body spends more time in a catabolic state, meaning it breaks down muscle tissue for energy if it does not have the right fuel available. Oatmeal, specifically old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats, provides a slow, steady release of glucose that keeps insulin levels stable and prevents your body from cannibalizing your leg muscles for energy. Think of it like this. Your muscles are like a construction crew, and glucose is the electricity that powers their tools. If you give them a surge of power all at once, like you get from white bread or sugary cereals, the breakers trip and everything shuts down. But if you give them a slow, steady stream like you get from steel-cut oats, the crew works all morning long. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed complex carbohydrates at breakfast maintained 18% more lean muscle mass in their lower extremities over a 12-month period compared to those who consumed refined carbohydrates. The practical tip here is to cook your oats with water or unsweetened almond milk and add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. The flaxseed provides alpha-linolenic acid, which research from the University of Southampton shows reduces systemic inflammation, and inflammation is one of the primary accelerators of muscle breakdown after age 65. Do not add sugar. Instead, add a small handful of blueberries for natural sweetness and an added dose of anthocyanins, which protect muscle cell membranes. Eat this within 30 minutes of waking up. That timing matters more than most people realize, and the scientific references for all of these studies are linked in the description below. Number 5 is Greek yogurt. And I want you to hear the specific reason why Greek yogurt is dramatically different from regular yogurt, because this distinction could be the difference between preserving your leg strength and continuing to lose it. Greek yogurt contains roughly double the protein of regular yogurt per serving. A single cup of full-fat, plain Greek yogurt delivers approximately 17 to 20 grams of high-quality protein. But the reason it earns its place at number 5 on this list is not just the protein quantity. It is the type of protein and the unique combination of amino acids, particularly leucine. Leucine is what researchers call the master trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the ignition key to your muscle-building engine. Without enough leucine in a meal, your body simply does not receive the signal to start building or preserving muscle tissue. After the age of 65, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance sets in. This means your muscles become less sensitive to protein, almost like they become hard of hearing. You need to speak louder to get the same response. Leucine is what turns up the volume. Research from Maastricht University in the Netherlands, one of the world's leading centers for muscle aging research, demonstrated that seniors who consumed leucine-rich protein sources at breakfast showed a 35% improvement in muscle protein synthesis rates compared to those who consumed equal amounts of lower leucine proteins. I want to tell you about Margaret, a 74-year-old retired school teacher from Knoxville, Tennessee, who came to my clinic after falling twice in the same month. She had no major injuries, but her fear of falling had caused her to stop going on her daily walks. She was eating toast and jam every morning, no protein whatsoever. We changed her breakfast to full-fat Greek yogurt with berries and a small handful of walnuts. Within 8 weeks, she told me her legs felt stronger when she stood up from her chair. Within 4 months, she was back on her walks. She told me it felt like someone had slowly turned the lights back on. For optimal results, choose full-fat Greek yogurt, not low-fat, because the fat helps with absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and also slows digestion to extend the amino acid release. Add a teaspoon of honey if needed and pair it with a few walnut halves, because the omega-3 fatty acids in walnuts have been shown to enhance leucine uptake into muscle cells. Eat it within the first hour of waking. Number 4 is eggs. And before you say you already eat eggs, stay with me, because I need to explain something about how most seniors are eating eggs that is dramatically reducing their muscle-preserving potential. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating whole eggs, meaning the entire egg including the yolk, stimulated muscle protein synthesis 40% more than eating egg whites alone. 40% more. And yet how many seniors have been told for years to throw away the yolk? This is exactly the kind of thing that has been getting in the way of your health, and it stops today. The yolk contains leucine, yes, but it also contains vitamin D, choline, and a specific fatty acid profile that works synergistically with the protein in the white. After the age of 75, your body loses approximately 35% of its ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight, and vitamin D is absolutely critical for muscle function. The receptors for vitamin D exist inside muscle cells, and when those receptors are not activated, muscles become weaker, slower to respond, and more prone to breakdown. The yolk of a single egg contains about 41 international units of vitamin D. Not enough on its own, but combined with other sources, it becomes part of a powerful morning protocol. Researchers at McMaster University in Ontario, Canada found that seniors who consumed 3 whole eggs at breakfast, as opposed to other protein-equivalent breakfasts, showed significantly greater gains in lean muscle mass in the legs and hips over a 12-week resistance training program. Cook your eggs in a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil or grass-fed butter for even better nutrient absorption. Scrambled, poached, or soft-boiled, all fine. Avoid high-heat frying, which oxidizes the beneficial fats in the yolk. And here's the synergy tip for eggs. Add a small sprinkle of black pepper to your eggs. Black pepper contains piperine, and a study from St. John's University found that piperine enhances the absorption of nutrients from food by up to 20% by stimulating digestive enzyme activity. Now, before we get to the top 3, if you are finding this information valuable, please take a moment right now to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. We publish videos like this every week specifically for our community of seniors who refuse to accept that aging means decline. Your support is what keeps this channel going and keeps this information free for everyone who needs it. Number 3 is salmon, and I know some of you are thinking, salmon for breakfast? Hear me out, because the science behind this one is genuinely extraordinary, and it may change the way you think about your mornings forever. Wild-caught salmon is arguably the most complete muscle-preserving food on the planet for adults over 60. In a single 4-ounce serving, you get approximately 25 grams of complete protein with an ideal amino acid profile, over 2,500 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, a significant dose of vitamin D, and an antioxidant called astaxanthin that almost nobody talks about. Here is why this matters specifically for your legs. Researchers at the University of Aberdeen in Scotland conducted a 2-year study following 130 adults between the ages of 65 and 85. Those who consumed fatty fish like salmon at least 4 times per week showed dramatically slower rates of muscle fiber loss in their quadriceps, the large muscles in the front of the thigh responsible for standing up, climbing stairs, and walking. The omega-3 fatty acids in salmon work through a mechanism called mTOR pathway activation. Simply put, they unlock a molecular door inside your muscle cells that allows protein to flow in and be used for repair and rebuilding. This door becomes increasingly sticky and difficult to open as we age, and omega-3s are one of the few things proven to unstick it. Astaxanthin, the pink pigment in salmon that gives it its color, has been shown in research from Fuji Chemical Industries and the University of Oslo to reduce exercise-induced muscle damage and inflammation at the cellular level. Think of it as a cellular bodyguard for your muscle fibers, protecting them from the oxidative stress that accelerates after age 65. For breakfast, try smoked salmon on top of your eggs, or prepare a small portion of grilled or baked salmon the night before and reheat it in the morning. Pair it with a slice of whole grain toast or alongside your Greek yogurt and oats. The synergy tip for salmon is vitamin C. Research from Oregon State University shows that vitamin C dramatically enhances the body's ability to use the omega-3 fatty acids from fish. A small glass of freshly squeezed orange juice or a few slices of kiwi alongside your salmon maximizes the muscle-preserving benefit. Let me tell you about Robert, a 79-year-old former Army engineer from Phoenix, Arizona. Robert had been dealing with what his doctors called sarcopenia, which simply means age-related muscle loss, for several years. He had gone from hiking the local trails every weekend to struggling to get out of his recliner without using both armrests. He was eating mostly cereal and toast in the mornings. After learning about the importance of morning nutrition, Robert began having 2 scrambled eggs with smoked salmon and oatmeal with flaxseed every morning without fail. At his 6-month follow-up, his grip strength had increased by 22%, and his walking speed, which is a validated clinical measure of leg muscle strength in the elderly, had improved by nearly 1/4 mile per hour. His daughter called me in tears to say her father was hiking again. Number 2 is cottage cheese, and this is the one that surprises almost everyone. Most people think of cottage cheese as a bland diet food from the 1970s, but modern sports nutrition science has completely transformed our understanding of this food. And for seniors who want to preserve leg muscle, it may be more valuable than almost anything else you can eat in the morning. Here's the reason. Cottage cheese is loaded with casein protein, and casein is unique because it is a slow-digesting protein that releases amino acids into your bloodstream gradually over a period of 5 to 7 hours. After the age of 60, your body enters a prolonged overnight fasting state during sleep that becomes increasingly catabolic, meaning muscle destroying. By the time you wake up in the morning, your muscles have been starving for amino acids for 7, 8, sometimes 9 hours or more. Most breakfast proteins are absorbed relatively quickly, giving your muscles a burst of amino acids and then leaving them without fuel again by mid-morning. Casein is different. It forms a slow-releasing gel in your stomach, and researchers at Wageningen University in the Netherlands have called it the perfect anti-catabolic protein for older adults because it provides a sustained amino acid drip directly to your muscles for hours after consumption. A clinical trial published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that older adults who consumed casein protein in the morning retained 31% more muscle mass over a 6-month period compared to those who consumed whey protein or plant protein at breakfast. The key is the sustained release. It keeps your muscles fed and protected through the entire morning, right through to lunch. Eat 1 cup of full-fat cottage cheese in the morning. You can mix it with blueberries, a drizzle of honey, and some crushed walnuts to make it genuinely delicious. Or mix it with a little hot sauce, black pepper, and eat it alongside your eggs for a savory, high-protein breakfast plate. The synergy tip is to eat your cottage cheese with a source of vitamin K2, like a few slices of aged cheese or a small amount of natto if you are adventurous. Vitamin K2 has been shown by researchers at Maastricht University to activate proteins inside muscle cells that enhance the uptake of amino acids. It takes an already powerful food and makes it even more effective. And now we have arrived at number 1. The morning food that I've been teasing since the beginning, and I think for many of you, this is going to completely reframe everything you thought you knew about breakfast and muscle preservation. Number 1 is a warm, specifically prepared cup of bone broth, and I need you to understand why this is not folk medicine or some trendy wellness fad. This is backed by some of the most exciting emerging research in the field of musculoskeletal aging, and the specific mechanisms involved are nothing short of remarkable. Bone broth made from simmering animal bones for 12 to 24 hours releases extraordinarily high concentrations of type 2 collagen peptides, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. These are the precise amino acids that make up the connective tissue surrounding every single muscle fiber in your body, including the muscles in your legs. Here's what most people do not realize. Muscle is not just muscle fiber. It is muscle fiber wrapped in a sheath of connective tissue called the endomysium, and groups of fibers wrapped together in another layer called the perimysium, all held together by fascia. After the age of 65, this connective framework begins to degrade faster than your body can replace it. When that framework degrades, muscles lose their mechanical efficiency, meaning they have to work harder to produce the same amount of force. That is why your legs feel heavy and weak even when your actual muscle tissue is still present. Researchers at the Penn State Center for Cellular and Molecular Signaling found that glycine, the dominant amino acid in bone broth, stimulates the production of creatine inside muscle cells. Creatine, which your body naturally produces less of after age 60, is the immediate energy currency for explosive muscle contractions, the kind you need to catch yourself when you trip, to stand up from a chair, to climb a step. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that collagen peptides from bone broth, when consumed in the morning before any physical activity, increased the synthesis of muscle-supporting connective tissue by 65% compared to a control group. 65%. And a separate study from Indiana University demonstrated that seniors who consumed 12 grams of collagen peptides, the equivalent of roughly 1 to 2 cups of high-quality bone broth, daily for 12 weeks, showed significant improvements in leg press strength and walking endurance compared to a placebo group. I want you to hear about Dorothy, an 81-year-old retired nurse from Burlington, Vermont. Dorothy had been told by 2 separate orthopedic surgeons that her weak legs were simply a consequence of age, and that there was very little she could do beyond physical therapy. She began drinking 1 cup of warm bone broth every morning, made from grass-fed beef bones, along with her eggs and Greek yogurt. She told me that after 3 weeks, she noticed her knees felt less stiff when she stood up in the morning. After 2 months, she was able to walk to her mailbox and back without stopping to rest, something she had not done in 3 years. Dorothy told me, "I stopped believing I was just old. I started believing I had been underfed." To prepare bone broth correctly, purchase high-quality beef or chicken bone broth from grass-fed or pasture-raised sources, or make your own at home by simmering bones in filtered water with a splash of apple cider vinegar, which helps extract the collagen and minerals for 12 to 24 hours. Drink 1 to 2 cups warm, first thing in the morning, before or alongside your other breakfast foods. Add a pinch of sea salt and a small amount of turmeric. Research from the University of California, Los Angeles found that curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, works synergistically with collagen peptides to reduce the inflammatory markers that destroy muscle connective tissue. This combination is one of the most powerful 1-2 punches in morning nutrition for seniors that exists in the scientific literature today. Here is what I want you to take away from everything you have heard today. Muscle loss in the legs is not inevitable. It is not simply what happens when you get older and there is nothing to be done. It is a biological process that responds powerfully to what you eat, when you eat it, and how consistently you commit to feeding your body what it genuinely needs. The research is clear. The window of opportunity is real. And the foods I have shared with you today are not exotic or expensive. They are real foods available at any grocery store that can begin working inside your body as early as tomorrow morning. You deserve to stand up from your chair without struggling. You deserve to walk to the park, to climb your stairs, to play with your grandchildren on the floor and get back up on your own. You deserve the dignity and the freedom that comes with strong, functional legs. It is not too late. It is never too late. I have seen it happen for patients in their late 70s and their 80s. The human body, even at the most advanced age, responds to proper nourishment with remarkable resilience. The question is simply whether you are going to give it what it needs. If this video helped you today, please hit the like button right now and subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new video. We are here every week with the latest research translated into practical steps that you can take starting tomorrow morning. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me your age, tell me where you are watching from, and tell me which one of these 6 foods surprised you the most. Was it the bone broth? Was it the cottage cheese? I read every single comment, and your questions and stories inspire every video I create. Until next time, take care of your body, It is the only one you have, and it is far more capable than you may believe. Sonnet 4.6.